Hey mate, before you enjoy today's episode, I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about the free 14-day transformation that we are currently running inside of the Unbreakable Man team. Now, if you're a man on the Gold Coast who's serious about improving his physical and mental health, building his self-confidence, and you want to become a part of a team of motivated and like-minded men, then this is the best chance that you are going to get. So as part of the 14-day transformation, you're going to get a personalized meal plan and a recipe cookbook to help you get your diet under control. You're going to be training with myself and the Unbreakable Man team for 2 whole weeks, and I'll be there by your side, helping you overcome any of the challenges that you will face along the way. If that sounds good, then get in touch with me by emailing me at mitch@unbreakableman.com.au. You can find all of my contact details on the website, which is just www.unbreakableman.com.au. Or you can message me on social media. Instagram is unbreakableman_challenge, and Facebook is just Unbreakable Man. That sounds good to you? Hit me up. I hope to hear from you soon. Back to the episode. The thing that stops most men from succeeding in life, of finding out what they're really capable of being the best man that they could be for themselves, for their partner, for their kids, for the community, having a wonderful experience of life. The main thing that I think stops most men is a lack of courage. Hey mate, I'm Coach Mitch and welcome to the Unbreakable Man podcast. It's my goal to help you achieve excellent results in the area of your health and physical fitness, your career or business, your relationships, and in your own personal passions. This is going to be your one-stop shop if you are the kind of man who wants to achieve his fullest potential in life. And the only way to do that is by becoming unbreakable. Hey brother, Coach Mitch here, and welcome to this week's episode of the Unbreakable Man podcast. Now, if you've been watching this for some time, then there's a pretty good chance that you're a man who is interested in being better. You're interested in being fitter. You're interested in being stronger. You're interested in being more mentally tough and resilient. You're interested in having better relationships. You're interested in becoming more successful in your professional and personal life. That's the reason why you'd be listening to something like this in the first place. And, I coach, like at the moment, I'm coaching almost 60 guys on how to be better, how to be fitter, stronger, more confident, and just improve across a multitude of important areas in our lives. And I've also coached hundreds and hundreds of guys over the last it's been 9 years since I started coaching people, and just over 5 years since I started running the Unbreakable Man program. Yeah, I've coached a lot of people over that time. And one thing that has become very, very clear now to me is I can tell very, very quickly whether someone is going to be successful or not. I can tell very, very quickly whether someone has the attitude and the mindset that they're going to need to win, to get to where they're trying to get to, whether they have the foundational ingredients necessary to use the tools and the environment and the structure and everything that we give guys to take themselves right to the top. You can tell very, very quickly whether someone is the right kind of person or whether they're probably not going to make it. And that's sad. I hate it when I see that, because I'm like, fuck man. You're here because you want to be better. You're here because you want to be fitter, stronger, more confident. You want to have a better relationship. You want to have a better life. You want to be a better role model for your kids. You're here for all of those reasons, man. Yet your actions and the words that come out of your mouth don't reflect that. So in today's episode, I wanted to talk about what I believe is the main reason why most men fail. And the truth is that most men do fail. Most men never achieve their fullest potential. And I know that sounds kind of corny, and you might not even realize, well, why would I even care about that? I'm just trying to live, Mitch. I get it. I truly get it. I just think that, maybe this is just me, but I have one fucking life. I get to be here on planet Earth with my friends and my family and all the experiences that are available to me one fucking time. I get to do it once. don't want to waste it at all. I don't want to not find out what I could really do, where I could really go, what I could really experience, what I could really give. I want to find that out so bad. And I know that not everyone wants that. I know that. And I can appreciate why as well. But there's got to be a little bit of that in you if you want to succeed. There's got to be a little bit of that in you where you're like, no, I refuse to not let this work. I refuse to fail. I can't fail. I can't live like that. There has to be a little bit of that in you in order to consistently do the shit that you need to do. And so, in my opinion, the thing that stops most men from succeeding in life, of finding out what they're really capable of being the best man that they could be for themselves, for their partner, for their kids, for the community, having a fucking wonderful experience of life, the main thing that I think stops most men is a lack of courage. That's it. And the reason why I think it's a lack of courage, because I was always thinking about this episode beforehand. I was like, what do I want to say today? What are some of the main things I think that a lot of guys, is the reason why a lot of guys don't win? And, I'm also thinking, clarity. A lot of guys don't have clarity. And then I stopped and thought, no, hold on a second. Hold on. Because I can give you all the clarity in the world. We can do all the fucking research. We can get all the best plans together. We can get to the point where we have basically predicted the future to as close to as perfect as we possibly can as mortal beings. And you still have to do it. You still have to actually invest the money. You still have to actually do the work that you don't yet know how to do. You still have to take the fucking action. You still have to get your ass out of bed when you don't feel like it. You still have to have the late nights. You still have to push yourself. You still have to deal with problems and stress and challenges and tragedy in your life. You still have to go through all of that. It doesn't matter how much clarity I give you. And even if you don't have that much clarity, if you just have the courage to try anyway, because you know you want the thing on the other side of the challenge, then you'll get more clarity as you go. So clarity is super important, but I think the main thing, man, is courage. That is the main thing that most men lack. I have guys who will say, I really want to get fit. It's super important to me. I've felt like shit for years and I'm not being a great example for my kids and I'm not being a great example for my partner and things aren't working out very well. And then I'll say, okay, cool, man. Yeah, we can definitely sort out all these things. These are very, very solvable problems. We have exactly what you need. Here's all the stuff that we do. And they'll be like, yes, that sounds great. And then I say, okay, cool, it's going to cost this much. And they go, oh, wait a second. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. It's right there. You could have the thing that you say you wanted. You can see the path. We're going to work with you to make sure that it does work financially. And then I'll say, oh, my wife won't let me. I'm like, bro, have courage. Have courage. Say to her, dude, I really want to do this. And here's why I want to do it. And here's what it's going to do for you. And here's what it's going to do for the kids. And I promise I'm going to make this happen. And if I don't, then here are going to be the consequences if I don't do it. So this is why it's so bloody important to me. And trust me, if you let me do this, then I will prove to you that I'm going to become the guy that you want me to be. I'm going to become fit, strong, confident, successful, great leader for the kids, a great family man. And you say that to her, and you say, look, what do we have to do to make this work? Like, you actually fight for the fucking thing. You actually fight for yourself. You know what I mean? I don't care whether it's my program or someone else's. I don't care what it is. But fucking fight for it, man. Fucking fight for it. Don't just back down the second there's a single obstacle in your way. I'll tell you a story, man. And this is an example of some courage that I had to have. And I would not be here in front of camera with you today if I hadn't made this decision. This goes back all the way to October of 2017, before I started the Unbreakable Man program, which happened in March of 2018. So October 2017, I'm a full-time working PT, doing one-on-ones. My calendar's fully booked, but I'm not happy. I know I can do better, and I'm trying to look for the next thing. And then, you know how you see Facebook ads and you see the video come up and then you're like, oh yeah, cool. That's kind of what I'm looking for right now. You click on it and you go through the whole process. You leave your phone number and your email, and you get called up with the guys, or you're booking for a call for the thing. And then you end up on a sales call basically. And this was actually the second business coach that I hired. The first one I spent like $2,000 on, and it was very average. Didn't really do that much for me. But look, I had to try something. And this was the second one, man. And here I am. I'm 22 at the time, and I'm on this video call with a guy that I've never met before. I don't really know what the program's going to be like because I'm not in it yet. You know, I'm outside of it. I'm experiencing the sales call here. I don't really know what the program is. I don't really know, you know, they tell me what the goal is for me and for the other people who are going through the program, but I don't really know what it entails. And I sit there on the video call, I'm telling the guy, you know, answering the questions, and then we get to the pitch at the end, and this guy pitches me $6,000 for a 12-week course on how to build an online fitness business. $6,000. And I'm 22 at the time. $6,000 was more than half of what I had in the bank. More than half of my total cash was what this guy was asking for over a fucking video call. And I'd never met this dude in person before. You know, I'd seen a bit of their content. I don't really know what I was buying, you know, but I knew I needed to do something. And I knew I wanted the thing on the other side of this barrier. And I'm like, God. I paid the money. I paid $6,000 to someone I've never met before for something that I didn't really know what it was yet. And the reason why I did that is because I couldn't stay where I was. I could not allow myself to be in the same situation I was in another fucking month. If I had been in that same spot a year from then, I would have been so over it. And that, I think, again, maybe that's just something about me. I can't stand to not progress and move forwards in life. But, you know, there's plenty of guys out there that will be doing the same thing every single day, every single week, every single month for 10 years. And I'm just like, how do you manage? How do you do it? And I don't know, are those guys happy? Or is that the reason why those guys overeat and drink, smoke cigarettes and watch porn and do all this other shit that isn't helping them? It's just to deal with the fact that they're not going anywhere. I can't do that, man. I refuse, flat out refuse to stay in the same place and continue to be the same person. I have to know what is out there for me. I have to find out. And so I paid $6,000 for this thing. $6,000. And then once I was in the program, they start telling me about all the shit I got to do. I'm like, fucking hell, I've never done any of this before. I've never made web pages. You know, I've never done social media marketing before. I've never done sales calls before. And that was all scary as well. But, you know, the great thing about paying that $6,000 was it made me work. It made me do the work. It made me go, okay, well, I got to get my money back here. You know, I've got to work my ass off right now. This has to be it. So that's the beautiful thing about making an investment, boys. It pushes you. It makes you commit. And so, you know, it wasn't easy from the beginning. You know, like there's a lot of false starts. There's a lot of trying, a lot of failure, a lot of things not going exactly the way I wanted them to. But if it wasn't for that, that was literally the beginning of the Unbreakable Man program. That's how I started this whole thing, was a $6,000 payment over a video call to someone I've never met before for something that I didn't really know what it was, but I just knew that I wanted the outcome. And I was willing to spend more than half of what I had at the time to find out if this was it. You know, they put a good case forward, so I was like, all right, fine. Let's find out. And I probably spent $12,000 on that business coach over the course of maybe 2 years that I was working with him. $12K. And I would say that $12,000 investment has allowed my business to turn over somewhere between $600,000 and $700,000 in the last 5 and a bit years, something like that. So $12,000 for $600,000, pretty good fucking investment. And the the thing that allowed that to be possible was courage. Was just knowing that something needed to change, that I needed to be better, that I needed to have a better experience of life. I needed to move forwards, knowing that that was true. And then just going, okay, cool. How do I make that happen? I've got to make that happen. And I don't care what I have to do. I'm just going to do it. I would not be here speaking to you today the way that I am if I hadn't made decisions like that over and over and over and over again. And like I said before, I've made those decisions before and they haven't worked out. That was the second business coach that I had hired. The first one was a flop and that cost me a couple of G's. And look, here's the deal. Again, a couple of G's to find the thing that helped me make over $500,000. You know what I mean? Worth it, you know? And look, there's an interesting thing started this year. Kind of embarrassing. I spent $5,000 at a seminar on a social media marketing agency to help me market the Unbreakable Man retreat on Instagram and Facebook. And you know what? It was crap. It was not a good investment. I didn't have a good time with the experience. And I spent $5,000 on it. But what that move did do for me was got me focused on the fact that I need to get serious about marketing the program again. I need to get serious about pushing this again. I need to get serious about getting out there and starting to really build up this group and go all in on this thing. You know, so even that bad investment is still indirectly helping me get to where I'm trying to get to. You know, like you will make stupid choices. You know, there's the saying, the fortune favors the bold. And I think that's really, really true. Unless you start taking chances in your life, unless you start going all in on the things that are really important to you. And I'm not saying invest half your life savings into something. I'm not saying that. You know, especially if you've got kids and other responsibilities and stuff. I get it. But if you're too afraid to invest anything, then you're never going to get there. And that is a fucking guarantee, man. And it's not because you're not paying someone like me or someone else or anyone. It's not about the person you're paying. It's about you. When we invest in things, we are showing ourselves that it's important to us. And when you invest in something as well, you go, fuck, I need to get my money's worth here. So I'm going to work my ass off. I'm not going to half-ass this thing. I'm going to make sure that it works. I'm going to make sure that I get the value out of this. And lo and behold, you get better results than someone who never ever started. So I think courage is a massive thing. And like I said, you're going to get it wrong sometimes anyway. You are going to make those investments and it's not going to work out. But I've found that you have to make those stupid mistakes. You have to be a dumbass sometimes to make the right choices. Because by being stupid and having an experience of being stupid, it makes you less stupid. Because then you go, okay, cool. Well, here's the reason why I will never do that again. Here's all the boxes that need to be checked next time I make a business investment. And if those boxes aren't checked, then I don't buy. Now I know that. And I know that from an experience. I don't need to be told it. I know it intrinsically within myself. So I really, truly do think that courage is the main reason why most men fail, or a lack of courage, I should say, is the main reason why most men fail. Most men are not courageous. Most men live life like cowards. And I'm not saying that you or them or anyone is a coward. I'm saying that most men live their lives like they are cowards. Unwilling to really go for what they want. To really be truly honest with themselves and say, I'm not happy with where I am right now. I'm not happy with my relationship. I'm not happy with the body that I'm in. I'm not happy with my level of confidence and mental strength. I'm not happy with the job that I'm working. I'm not happy with these things. These are not good enough. They're not up to my standard. They don't match the vision of my life that I want to create for myself. Become unreasonable about those things and say, no, it's not going to be this way anymore because I get one life. I get one chance to be here, one experience on this fucking planet. with these people, and I want it to be fucking good. I want it to be exactly the way I want it to be. And most men are never going to experience that because they're unwilling to make any changes. They're unwilling to go out on a limb. They're unwilling to step into the unknown. They're unwilling to make the investment. They're unwilling to have the hard conversations. It's like, cool, fine. Don't do it then. Have a good life. Keep being the same guy you're being. Keep having the same problem you're having. Up to you, bro. Your life. Your life. But then one day, you're going to get to the end of your life and you're going to look back and go, shit, I missed out on so much. I wasn't with the person I wanted to be with. I wasn't acting like the man I wanted to be. I didn't get to do all the things I wanted to do and see all the things I wanted to be, see all the things I wanted to see. And now it's over. That's it. Poof. That's sad. That's shit. And if you don't care about that, that's fine. It's your life. But if you do care about that, then fucking do something about it. And make it the most important thing. Make it a priority. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Because it absolutely will. We all notice how much quicker time goes by as we get older. Like a year is like that. And it's gone. And you've lost another opportunity to change the thing in your life that you weren't happy with. Because you lacked courage. Because you weren't willing to do the hard thing. And some things are really fucking hard. Really hard. But you have to go through that to get to the thing on the other side of it. There's just no other way. You can either spend the rest of your life in a pit of shit, not experiencing what you want to experience, or you can make the arduous journey out of that pit and go through all of the crap that you got to go through to get out of it, and then you get to be free. You get to live as the man that you want to be. You get to have the body that you want to have. You get to have the mindset and the mental resilience that you want to have. You get to have the relationship that you want to have. You get to do what you want to do on a consistent basis. You get to have a job that you actually enjoy or that you really appreciate. One thing I'm so grateful for is that it's not the money that I've made in this business. It's the fact that every single day I get to do something that I actually love. I get to spend time around guys and doing things that I actually love with guys that I love. I get to talk like this to you. This is part of my work. I just get to share my thoughts that I think are going to help you. I get to do this consistently. All because I had courage. And all because I just went, no, this is what I want. This is what I need to do to get there. And this might be the thing that I need to do to get the job done. So I'm just going to try it and see what happens. And I'm going to continue to do that in my life. And if you follow along with the journey, you're going to continue to see things change. And you're going to go, oh, fucking hell, there he is, making stupid fucking decisions again. And some of them are failing and some of them are succeeding. And he's getting better. That's what you're going to see if you keep following me. And I want that for you as well. I want you to have that experience of life. I want you to say every single year, that was the best year of my life. That's what I'd like to see for you, but it's going to take a lot of courage. And I don't know how to teach men courage. Like I guess it comes from experience, but then even then, you still have to be the guy who just does it. I can't drag you up a mountain. I can't force you to abseil off a cliff. I can't force you to do the work that you need to do to become braver and more confident in yourself. Nobody can. You have to take the step, man. We can just give you the opportunity. I don't know how to teach courage. Maybe some guys will never get it. Maybe some guys will always be stuck in this spot because they're just not willing to just do it. But I do believe that every man has the ability to become courageous. But it just has to start with that first little ounce of courage, that first little speck of fucking self-belief that you could actually do something. And that has to come from you. It has to come from you. Once you find that, find other people who can help fan that flame and turn it into a raging fucking fire inside of you that helps that helps push you through all of the challenges, all of the hardship and tragedies that you're going to face along the way, because you will. Like, there has been plenty of times over the last couple of years where I have felt like fucking giving up. Plenty of times where things haven't gone my way and it's been rough. And now I look back on them from where I am right now, and I'm so grateful that I didn't. So grateful. And I know those times are going to be in the future between now and where I want to be as well. But after having all this experience, I know that when I go through those times, that another future version of myself is going to look back and be so grateful that I went through those times too. I already know what it's going to be like because I've had that experience before. And through having that experience, I get to be more courageous. But it started with that first thing, and that comes from you. So, with that said, brother, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, comment down below. If there's anything you'd like to speak to me about, or maybe you've got a question for me, you can email me at mitch@unbreakableman.com.au. All right, with that said, brother, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I cannot wait to speak to you again on the next episode. Cheers. Hey, mate, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Unbreakable Man podcast. If you did, it would be absolutely fantastic if you could leave us a 5-star review, because that's going to help us get our message in front of more men who need to hear it. Now, if you have some feedback for me, I'd love to hear that too. Comment down below. And if you just need some mini doses of Unbreakable Man motivation throughout your week, then you can follow us across all social platforms. On Facebook, it's Unbreakable Man Challenge. On Instagram, it's Unbreakable Man_challenge. And on TikTok and YouTube, it's just Unbreakable Man. Your support would be absolutely invaluable. Now, last but not least, do not forget, men aren't born, they're built.